Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I have an Empties that is not very full. I split it into, this is makeup and then this is just, you know, the normal type of Empties. So that's okay though, because there's plenty, you know, there's enough to talk about. So I'll go through the non-makeup items first. And some of these you've seen recently, such as this. This is the Lee Stafford Big Fat Mousse Spray Root Boost. Do you remember I said that I had tried it and it didn't really do anything? But I'd only tried it once or maybe twice and I thought, let me just give it one more go and I'll use a lot of it. And I'll make sure I spray it like on the roots, you know. Maybe I wasn't using enough. Because bizarrely, although you guys know I love to use a lot of product, but I don't tend to do that with hair products because sometimes it makes it all sticky and, you know, feel like you've not actually washed your hair. I want my hair to feel clean. So I thought I'll use some more. So I sprayed it. And I sprayed it on my roots and I burnt my head. So not happy with this at all. I don't know, I suppose you're probably not supposed to do that. Well, maybe. It does say that it's a spray, but there was two patches, one here and one at the back, where I'd actually, because it's so cool and it's got, what would it have, is it nitrogen? There's something in here keeping it cool, and spraying it on my head, it just burnt, it was just too cold. And so that was not very nice to experience, but even on using a lot more and using it all over on my roots, it still didn't do anything for me. It just felt like I put nothing in my hair, so that's unfortunately a fail. Next is another item that you saw, which is this Lotta Body setting lotion, and I tried this again, tried spraying it on my hair and using that kind of as I would a mousse. So, you know, seeing if it would hold my style, which wasn't curls, it was just me putting it in, doing it with my big hair, and seeing if it would hold it the same way as a mousse does or as my the PhD 5-in-1 styling treatment, and it didn't. And then I did use it again as a spray. I did my headband curls very loosely, haven't done them on video, but just I knew I was going to wash my hair the following day, so I thought, right, let me put my headband curls in and spray it with the setting lotion and see how I get on. And it did hold the wave in a lot longer, but I've always said that when I use my headband curls method to curl my hair, it does hold it in, but this was just a tiny bit of a wave and I don't like the way it works with curls anymore. So this is a bit of a fail. It's just too much. It's too much hassle to use because you're supposed to dilute it as well, and it doesn't come out in a fine spray, it just comes out in a kind of jet. And the only way it would really work for me was on headband curls, which, like I said, I don't really do very often. So that, again, is a fail. Okay, the Sun Swim and Gym Conditioner for Dry Damaged Hair. You've seen me talk about this in recent hair videos and in recent favourites, and I still love it. It is my favourite conditioner, I would say, recently. It's just so, I can overload my hair with this and it never ever feels weighed down, but it always feels very tangle free and very soft and, you know, lightweight. So love that. That's the Boots Sun Swim and Gym. Oh, this is, I was looking for this when I was showing you a haul the other day. It's the Way Memory Mist, and I tried it. That's why I couldn't find it. Obviously, it was in here in my Empties. It just didn't work for me. I was hopeful that this would work with my curling tongs to help my curls stay in a little bit longer, and it didn't at all. I think, did I use this on with the curls I had on camera? I think I might have done, but I start off with these big lovely curls and literally by the end of a video it just looks like I've got a wave, and this didn't help, unfortunately, at all. That's the first item I've got from Way as well, and I know that some people swear by their hair products, so not the greatest introduction. This is the Naughty to the Rescue Moisture Boost Conditioner. I don't like the smell of this. I think I showed you this in a haul. It smells to me like fake coconut, so I don't enjoy the smell. That wouldn't push me off. That wouldn't put me off if it was as good as, say, this one. Now, I love this one because of all the reasons I gave you, but also it smells of argan oil to me, and I think this one is much cheaper. So when I compare these two, I wouldn't buy this one. It does make my hair feel lovely and soft. I can use as much as I want, but it's not quite as good as this one, and this one smells better, so I would choose this one. But it may be down to what you can get hold of. It is a really nice one. So it's the Moisture Boost Conditioner. That wouldn't put me off. You know, I'd like to try some of their other hair care, skincare, no, hair care. This is making a mess in my Empties box. Next is the Oil and Water Double Cleanse from the Inkey List. Loved every minute of using this. Really, really enjoyed it. It made taking my eye makeup off and all of my makeup such a pleasure. With the sea buckthorn oil in there, it just was so moisturising. And, you know, I did go over it with my micellar water to take any residue off, but it meant I could take my makeup off and just sort of potter around the house if I wanted to, because when it's really, really hot and humid like this, like, I don't know how long I'll keep my makeup on today. I will, because I'm going to the gym and I'm hot and I've got a lot of the things I've got to do around the house. I'll end up feeling like, oh, I just want to get my makeup off, you know. So I could take it off and that would be enough until it's time to do my routine, if that makes sense. Like, it's moisturising enough because it's got that oil in it, your skin doesn't feel tight or anything, and yeah, it just whisks it away. So it's definitely one I would repurchase. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about this. This is the Revolution 5% ATP. I didn't look that deeply into it. I can do an ingredient spotlight if you like and keep this aside. I've only used this a couple of times on my skin and it's all right. It's like any kind of serum. It reminds me of the Matrixyl by The Ordinary. That's what it feels like, or any kind of hyaluronic acid serum. But the interesting thing about this is it doesn't have, this is only from my brief research, it doesn't actually have ATP in it. It has yeast in it because that is thought to have ATP in it. But from what I've read, it's not that simple. You would need to extract the ATP from the yeast, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So I'm not convinced that this is actually an ATP, and so that's why I haven't been using it. I just thought, oh, it's, you know, the Revolution products haven't necessarily impressed me that much. I do like the Bakuchiel serum, but you know, I think it was an anti-haul I did on the Revolution products and talked through every single one, and a lot of them have got fragrance and alcohol, and I just feel like it's a brilliant makeup brand trying to foray into skincare, and that it's not necessarily the best idea. But I know some of you are loving the products, so, you know, I'm not saying this is not a bad product at all. Feels fine on the skin. I don't think there was any nasties in it, but to me it just isn't exactly what it says. I also don't think there was anything amazing about ATP that I read and went, oh, I must have that ingredient in my routine. You know, like I said, let me know if you want me to do an ingredient spotlight on that. I haven't heard much hype around that ingredient either. This is the Defense 30 by Indeed Labs. I was going to do a review on this and I didn't, because it's got a chemical sunscreen in it that is not one I'd want to use because of the coral reefs and also the potential hormone disruption. I can't remember if it's octinoxate or not, but it is a chemical sunscreen in here, not a mineral sunscreen. But other than that, it feels really nice. It was a really nice sunscreen to use, a nice sort of soft silky one, feels really lovely on the face. Yeah, if you're not bothered about chemical sunscreens at all, then it's a very nice one. So no issues with that at all, but not a repurchase for me. I thought it was quite expensive as well. I think it was £20. You know what? Why not check it? I hate it when I do that. You know, I'm like, I think it was £20. Well, check it so that you're giving them the right information. Yeah, £19.99. It's currently £13.33 in Boots as I'm recording this video. It does have zinc oxide in it as well, but like I said, it is mixed with octinoxate, so not a repurchase for me. Yes, it's £19.99, and what I was saying was there's a lot of sunscreens that you can buy, you know, from The Ordinary and from the Inkey List that are less expensive and don't have the chemical sunscreen in. The one advantage I would say this does have is it is moisturising. It has got zinc oxide in it, by the way, but it is mixed with the chemical sunscreen. But this is very moisturising. It's not one that I needed a separate hydrator underneath it or anything like that. I finished my Dr. Jart Ceramidin. This is not a repurchase for me because it's not one that's, it's not inexpensive. I think it is quite expensive, hence the reason I've only got this tiny tube. And it's just okay for me. I tried this, you know, remember I was telling you about that really dry patch on my neck, and I was trying all my different creams to see if anything would help it. This felt nice enough going on my skin, and it moisturised my skin okay every day, but it did nothing when I had that dry patch, you know, and so not a repurchase. Next is the CeraVe moisturising cream. This is one, I keep on trying it, it doesn't work, I put it back in my skincare drawer, then I take it out again because I know how much people love CeraVe and I can't see anything in it that is a problem. Yet every time I use it, I feel like my skin's a little bit irritated by it. It stings a little bit when it goes on, and it doesn't really moisturise that much. I mean, it says it's for normal to dry skin and that it's got ceramide, etc. in it, but it doesn't seem to do anything for me. So yeah, I've got about halfway through and gone, you know what, I'm not enjoying it. It either stings my skin or I don't feel like my skin's moisturised from it, so that's a fail for me. I'm saying how everybody loves CeraVe, but I know there are other people that have had irritation problems from it, because when I've mentioned it before, a lot of you have said, yes, me too. This is the Be Hydrated Booster. This is just a little glass bottle and it's from the Superdrug range, and this is just a hyaluronic. It's basically like a water, as you can see, really, really liquidy. So because it's so liquidy, it didn't feel very nice to use. I like things to feel like a serum or a cream, you know, I like them to feel really nice going on, and this just felt okay. I could add this to moisturiser, but that's what I planned to do. When I stopped using it on its own underneath things, I was like, I'll just finish this up by adding it to moisturiser, but I just never ever remembered. It's just not really in my head that I would grab another product and mix it in with something. I should mix it in with this and see if it makes any difference, but like I say, I just tend to not remember to do that, so not a repurchase for me. The final non-makeup item is this, the resveratrol and ferulic acid from The Ordinary, and I love this and I would definitely repurchase it. It's just something I don't have it all the time. I occasionally get it. I normally will buy it if I'm buying something else from The Ordinary. If they've got something new out, I'll then add either resveratrol and ferulic acid or the EUK. And I just really enjoy using it underneath my sunscreen. It's not something that, you know, I feel like I have to have that in my routine, but I really enjoy it when I do get it and don't think it's doing any harm. So I really love that. Got some foundations. The first one is this. It's the, I think it's called Complexion Rescue, is it? Yeah, Complexion Rescue. And it's just a stick foundation. Mine is in a vanilla, which is 02. And I have tried this about 3 times and I really don't like it at all. By the way, you use a lot every single time. You know, literally you use it and it's down a dent, so it wouldn't be one that would last very long. But I thought this would be really useful to use, you know, just if you wanted a quick coat of foundation. It's not worth it to me because it immediately looks cakey on me, and then it just gets worse and worse, and you don't even start off from a good place, you know, so it didn't work at all for me. I wanted it because I thought as well that it was quite a moisturising feeling one, and it is, and so maybe for super dry skin, I mean my skin can be dry, and I think actually was quite dry when I was using this, but maybe you'll get on with it if you're super dry, but there's no way of testing it, is there? And so that's a complete waste of money. I can't take it back unless I had an allergy to it, which I don't, and yeah, so that's a fail. Another fail is this Cover FX Power Play foundation. I bought this online, and do you remember I said I had tried it and it looked lovely when I first put it on, but it didn't last very long, and I wasn't sure if it was just that it was quite hot at the time, but I don't think it is that, because we had a couple of cooler days in between and I tried it then, and then we're back to being really, really humid again, and I put it on a couple of days ago and it looked awful. It's one of those that you can put it on, if you can get it on perfectly, which I found to be quite hard. You know, it was taking a lot of putting it on, buffing it with my beauty blender, looking in the mirror, you know, seeing what it looked like. But at the end of it all, I think I just sort of went like that on my nose, and the foundation just moved, you know, and it was like, oh, and now it's gone from my nose and smudged all around it, and there wasn't really any way of repairing it. So this one just doesn't work for me at all. I know that some people are swearing by it, but it's not for me. And my final foundation empty is this Tarte Fair Neutral. So you can see that was my labelling. It's in a little glass jar. I never liked the big bottles of foundation in my little makeup bag, because having them in smaller things like this means that I can put more foundations in there and, you know, try a different one each day and try different colours depending on how tanned I was. And so this was the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in Fair Neutral, and I threw the bottle away a long time ago and I'd refilled this. I do really like that foundation still. I don't love it as much as I used to. That was a holy grail for a while. It seems to be that it looks okay on some days, and other days I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look as nice as I thought, but I do still really like it, and it is one I would probably repurchase. It's just a bit difficult for us to get hold of because, and also figure out the colours, because it's on QVC, but a lot of the time it's on back order, you know, you can't just immediately get it. Or we could order it directly from Tarte, but then we'd have to pay import charges, and the colours on QVC don't actually match up with the Tarte colours, so it's just a bit too difficult to get hold of, and it's not that good. But if it suddenly became available in the shops, it is what I would consider buying. I've got a little eyeshadow palette here by Wet n Wild in the Silent treatment. Let me show you. And I do like this, and the eyeshadows from Wet n Wild are really good, and I particularly liked these little trios. I think this is the only one I've got left though. And so the other day I wore this colour just to see what it would be like, and it was very pretty. It's a nice pink, and this is the kind of silvery taupe that I think I was talking about. And actually when I look through my collection, I've got a lot of them. They're just, this one's a bit more purpley actually. Yeah, that sounded really wrong, purpley actually, but that's right, isn't it? And I do really like it, but I've got other colours like that in palettes, and I never ever reached for this. And I didn't like the whole cruelty-free debacle with Wet n Wild. I was probably a bit more annoyed because I'd literally just gone out and bought the foundation, the Wet n Wild foundation, to try in 2 different colours, and really enjoyed it. And then suddenly they weren't cruelty-free. That was literally, I'd bought the foundation when that whole thing was going on. They'd said they were, but it turned out that they weren't. So yeah, I didn't like that, and like I said, I don't reach for this anyway, so that's a fail. I'm actually doing pretty well on getting rid of makeup. I'm surprised I've got any left. I look at my drawers and I'm like, how have I still got so much left? Because I have given away bags of it, sent boxes of it to give a makeup. You know, I've got rid of so much, I don't understand how I've got so much left. This is the Clinique blush in Iced Lotus. This was my holy grail blush for quite some time, and I actually got this in one of those, you know, if you buy 2 products you then get an extra little bag, and I adored it for so long, especially because it's in such a small packaging, because their normal blushes, I've got another one called Innocent Peach, are much bigger. But I wore this the other day in my last video, I think, and I thought it just looked too shiny on me, and I thought, I just don't think I suit shiny blushes. I need matte blushes, and so it's the perfect reason to give it away, because Clinique aren't cruelty free, and so I'm not going to reach for that one again, and I've got plenty of colours like that. I've got the Natural Collection mascara. Now, do you remember I said to you this, I thought this was amazing, but a lot of reviews were saying they preferred the old formula. Actually, a lot of you guys did say that you enjoyed Natural Collection, you weren't bothered about the new formula. Some of you were. It's very, very mixed. But I was loving this mascara, but I did say to you it was a little bit clumpy. It's kind of like that Chanel Volume de Chanel. But I have noticed it getting more clumpy very, very quickly. And also, what was the other thing? I said it on Instagram. Somebody said, oh, I'm going to go and get that mascara because I'd said how much I liked it. But I said, oh, the only thing is, I think it's that it made my eyes crispy. It made my eyelashes crispy. It isn't one that smudges, it stays put. Do you know what? I'd still say it's worth you giving it a go, because I think it was £1.99 or £2.99. I mean, it's really so inexpensive. But yeah, there's a lot of product coming out on this, and I can feel it changing very, very quickly. You know, I don't think it's one that will last long before it's too clumpy and too thick to use. Next is the One Fine Line pencil liner by Bare Minerals. This is a really skinny liner, and remember I had a kind of theory that these were working for me. Every skinny liner that I used was working really well in my upper waterline and not budging, and I didn't want to use I think it was either Maybelline or Rimmel. There was one that worked pretty well for me, and so I just picked this up again on a whim at the same time as I got their foundation. But this doesn't last not even 10 minutes. If I put it in my upper waterline, it's immediately like in the corners and just doesn't stay at all. So it's lovely. It's lovely, a lovely dark black. It goes on very, very easily. You know, it is a very, very soft one, and it might be okay to use if you're somebody that uses a pencil eyeliner around your eyes, but it's certainly not one for the water. The final item is from Too Faced. I'm even missing the end, which is the sharpener, but this is the Too Faced Perfect Natural. There is a bit left, but when I use it, I'm getting the edge of this as well, so it's not good enough to use on the lips. But this is my all-time favourite lip liner. And I was able to buy this from Amazon. I don't know whether I'll still be able to buy it because Too Faced don't do this anymore. I've no idea why. I'm sure it's called Perfect Natural Lip Liner. Perfect Nude it's called. And yeah, this was my kind of, if I had to choose one lip liner for the rest of my life, this would be it. It's so soft, but it goes on and gives a really nice line. Love the colour, but they don't do it anymore. So I might be able to buy it from Amazon, but I don't think I'll bother. You know, I don't want to have to rely on something that may or may not be available from old stock. So I'm finding replacements for that, but I did love it. That's everything for my empties today. I'll list all of my makeup, etc. in the description. I'm going to go and sit in front of a fan because I am literally melting. It's horrible. Hate this weather. I'm so looking forward to autumn. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.